Good morning, this is Corey from Camp Arowana with your Monday Morning Devo. A few weeks ago, my 9th grade English teacher Heidi shared this video on her Facebook. It's a puzzle in which these shapes all seem to fit perfectly into another rectangular box-like shape. But then a new different shape is added, and the rest of the shapes shift positions and adjust themselves in order to make room for the new shape. And then, again, another new shape is added, and all the others shift positions and adjust in order to once more make room for the newcomer. My teacher, Heidi, when she originally shared this post, commented on what a powerful illustration this is, showing us that we can always make more room at the table. My favorite book in the Chronicles of Narnia is The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, in which King Caspian is joined by Edmund and Lucy and Cousin Eustace, as well as his Narnian crew, in an adventure sailing to the edge of the world, hoping to catch a glimpse of Aslan's country. Along the way, they discover one island where a strange table is set. It is called Aslan's Table, and it is filled with a delicious feast featuring all sorts of foods and drinks. Each day, the food is replenished afresh, and so it is always available to nourish those who seek Aslan and his country. It never runs out. I love this scene because it reminds me that Jesus also has a table filled with a wonderful feast prepared for us. Jesus continuously tells us that we are invited to his table, and he expects us to invite others to that table as well. Jesus spent part of his last hours before his crucifixion at a table with his closest friends and followers, sharing a meal and showing them the importance of serving one another. Inviting others to our table, showing hospitality, is a great sign of love and care, and the attitude behind it takes form in all sorts of ways, apart from the meal table itself, and that is the attitude that Jesus calls us to live by. God has called us to shower his love upon others. Jesus showed us that the best way we can do this is by being a servant, and God showed us that there is no limit to how many or who is welcome to his table. It certainly is a lot easier for God to love everyone else than it is for us, though. We struggle liking people who look or believe or think differently than us. It's hard to welcome in folks who vote differently, who see the world differently, with personalities that might rub us wrong, and we often feel the need to mold, shape, or tell others to be or think more like us, rather than simply sharing the table with them. Coming to the table together with lots of different folks can be a challenge. For the Narnians who encountered Aslan's table, it was a bit of a challenge to sit and eat at the table as well. They had already been on a long journey and faced many trials. How were they to be certain that this table was not cursed or poisoned? Edmund asked the girl hosting the table, who was also a star from the sky, this very question: how are we to know that you're a friend? And the girl answered, you can't know. You can only believe or not. When I first saw this video that my teacher Heidi shared and her comment that we can always make more room at the table, I was inspired and I wanted to make this little puzzle piece out of wood so that I could have it as a set in order to use it as an illustration whenever I teach or preach out of this theme. So I set about trying to get the measurement so I could start cutting it out. And I'm no math whiz for sure, and I could not figure it out. So I went to Facebook and my friends there and I asked for help. Turns out that this whole thing in this video is not possible. It's not even really an illusion, it's just tricky camera work. Each time that they add a piece, they actually use a new frame, the outside piece, that's a bigger size, so that they could fit all the new pieces alongside the original pieces. I was really disappointed at first, but my friend Jeremy, who was one of those who pointed out that it was impossible, also left me with this scripture and these words. Isaiah 55:8. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. And then Luke 1:37, for with God nothing shall be impossible. When it comes to God's love, he will bend time and space to make room for all of us. And that's a direct quote of Jeremy. God showed us this by sending his son Jesus to the earth for us. God shows us this by sending his Spirit to dwell in and amongst us even today. And God expects us to share the table with all of his children, no matter their nationality or their skin color or their language, no matter their age or their gender or their religion, no matter how they voted or how they view life or the world. no matter whether we like them or not. After Jesus shared that last meal with his close friends and followers, he went to the garden and prayed, knowing what was next for him. In John chapter 17, we read his prayerful communication with God. One of the main themes of that prayer is that he was praying for us, and he was praying for unity among us and all of the rest of his followers. That passage is the key starting point for our 2020 theme, We Are the World, here at Camp Arowana. This is what we are all about here at Camp Arowana. Like the Table of Aslan, we are a refuge for those weary travelers on the journey of life, a place of respite and renewal where all are encouraged and their souls are fed simply by being welcomed to the table and loved. Indeed, this is the call of God on all of our lives. It is the gospel, and really, it is just that simple.